All right, we'll call our meeting to order. And do any of the councillors or administration have any additions to put on the agenda tonight? All right. Oh, I think we better sign a few of those, eh?
Oh. My apologies.
Well, let's at least get this one signed, the adoption of the agenda.
Your Worship, if I could do introductions of
Certainly.
our new recreation coordinator, Andre Bolduc. I don't know if he's met all of the council here, but I thought it'd be nice for him to come in and you folks can put a face to the name. And
She's fine. I'd say I've met everybody except for Marie.
Oh,
Oh, hi, Marie. My name is Andre,
Hi.
new rec coordinator.
And did you meet Troy?
what's your first name?
Oh, and Troy.
Hello.
Hi, Troy. Nice to meet you.
What's your first name?
Andre. It's French, but I'm not French.
So you've been on the job for the last
It's been about 3 weeks now.
3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'll just give my short intro. Yeah. So I've been here for about 3 weeks now. I started after Thanksgiving weekend.
Mhm.
Many of you probably heard I was in Fort Providence, so I do have quite a few years northern experience. I was there just under 3 years. Overall, I would say I have about 3.5, close to 4 of just general recreation experience.
Mhm.
Originally from Ontario, but also worked in Alberta and obviously here. Yeah, sort of education and experience background. And yeah, things have been going pretty well here so far. Just getting my footing, have some new ideas, and I have a couple I gave to Daryl that he'll give to you guys later tonight. And yeah, and I guess I don't know if you have any just general questions for me right now.
Just a couple of things.
Yeah.
Our rec facility is quite large.
Mhm.
We have lots of different activities that happen or can happen. I'm thinking we need more rec coordinator, more rec coordinating, and more recreation people that are actually running the program, trained program people.
Okay.
Is like how much you have intentions of doing for programming and that kind of stuff, because we have swimming pools in the summertime. We have the rec, what do they call it? Fitness center was added.
Yeah.
The curling facilities, there's the skating rinks, there's the gymnasiums, and all of that stuff. There's a lot of stuff to go on in there.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. So actually, I've already tailored my schedule to being more involved for the programming. So right now, I'm going to start working evenings twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday. Be there just sort of overseeing, what goes on at night, and sort of giving a goal of mine is to get the 2 boys that work at night, BJ and Tyler, a bit more involved with programs and whatnot. Yeah, that was a thing I did in Providence, was whether evening programs or we did day trips to Hay River for swimming, or I was big on special events and stuff like that as well. Like one thing that came to my mind was we have the new upgrades to the kitchen. So you can do a program in there.
Yes.
Yeah, creating stuff in the gym. Like it seems like the kids, they just from what I've got to know them, they like basketball and soccer and badminton. So you get to see what type of stuff they're into. So yeah, just providing stuff that they're into, and then also trying to think of new ideas as well that will draw kids.
And one other thing I've heard from, a few sources, it's dirty. Different areas of the facility are quite dirty.
Yeah. So, well, one thing I heard about the fitness center, so I made sure, so far those guys have been cleaning it twice a day.
Mhm.
The day staff cleans it, and then the night staff cleans it. And I've been checking it every once in a while, and every time I go in there.
And I've heard
It's
that
been
in
looking
different
good.
areas also, not just.
Oh, yeah,
the center,
yeah.
So just to.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Can I just point out that we haven't had any complaints since Andre started?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like one of the things I've been working on too is just always just reminding the guys just to, keep on moving and doing different tasks and stuff like that. And I feel like it's doing well so far. So
Welcome to Fort Simpson.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah, Andre,
It's going-
yeah, looking forward to.
It sounded good too, by the way. I must say it's already sounded good.
Yeah, no, I feel like the relationship with the rec center staff is, we're getting along well, and there's no what's the word? There's no controversies yet. So, but we all get along, and we both like listen to each other's ideas, and yeah, so it's all good so far.
And certainly, you could request that the rec committee have a meeting if you want to discuss any initiatives or things you're thinking about, or, occasionally we will call a meeting, but it's probably almost better if it comes from you, that, you have some things you want to discuss.
Wait about 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
It'll be a request.
So yeah, I have there's a couple of questions there already.
All right.
But yeah, welcome to the community. I hope you enjoy your time here. I hope it's a long time.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay,
Alright.
but you're welcome to leave as
How
well.
can I stay with
Oh, for
those
that part?
requests?
We're just going to request for a rec.
Oh, okay. Oh, for the meeting. Okay. Oh, good. If anyone else has any other questions.
Good.
Okay.
Oh, good. Thanks,
All
Andre.
right. Thanks.
Thank
a lot.
you.
Nice to meet
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
All right, have a good meeting.
Okay.
Still there, Celine?
Yes, I am,
Okay.
thank you.
Councilor,
Okay, so we'll start the formal part of the meeting here. Called the meeting to order, and I have a motion moved by Councilor Lafferty, seconded by Councilor Bellefontaine, that council adopt the agenda of regular meeting RM 21-2019 as presented. All in favor? And Celine, are you in favor?
Yes, but okay, so dash RM 2019 for the meeting we didn't have, that was canceled, so that we just leave that number and then we go to RM 21, right?
Yeah, so it's
But it's still the same agenda.
basically, yeah,
Oh, okay, that's what I have.
okay.
Yeah, yay.
Okay, all right, we got 5 for, and none against, so motion is carried, agenda is adopted. Any declarations of interest in any of the items tonight? None noted. And for our councillor absences, I have a motion moved by Councillor Moreau, seconded by Councillor Bellefontaine, that council excuse Councillors McPherson, Rowe, from the regular meeting RM 21-2019. Any discussion? All in favor? And Celine?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's 6 votes, right? 6. 6 for, none against. Motion's carried. Councilors are excused. We did have one delegation booked for this evening, and I see that that person is not here. Mr. Antoine, the owner of AA Ventures, was going, yes,
He phoned me and asked me to pass on the message that he can't make it tonight.
okay,
And if he'll come over in
Reschedule?
2 weeks, yes.
okay, we'll do that.
Okay.
And item number 7, adoption of a couple of sets of minutes. I have a motion moved on the first set of minutes by Councilor Bellefontaine, seconded by Councilor Moreau. That council approved the minutes of regular meeting RM 19-2019 of October 7, 2019. Any discussion on those minutes? Well, then, as presented, all in favor? And Deputy Mayor, are you in favor?
Yes.
All right, that makes 6 for, none against. That set of minutes is adopted. And for the second set, I have a motion moved by Councilor Morrow, seconded by Councilor Lafferty, that council approved the minutes of the budget meeting BM 01-2019 of October 15, 2019. Any discussion, amendments, additions? All right, then as presented, all in favor? And Deputy Mayor?
Yes.
All right, that's 6-4, none against. Motion's carried. Second set of minutes adopted. Mayor report. Really actually have nothing to report. We're looking at attending the NWTAC AGM in late February, early March. I think if councillors want to put forward any resolutions of particular concern, which would normally address not just our community, but it could, but the region, usually it has to be of a local or regional impact, something that other levels of government need to be involved with. And if so, we can certainly look at adopting those resolutions and putting them into the onto the agenda for the NWTAC. That's just something to keep in mind. I think we would certainly put the bridge study in as one already, but that's a past resolution that the village has done. Yeah, yes.
Councillor Grote had put forth some ideas on a resolution with respect to cell coverage over a broader range. So
Just somewhere an island of cell service, pick a tower, because we all have, all the communities have the same issue. Pick a tower so that just halfway between here and Providence Junction, you can find somewhere when you run into somebody that's rolled over the ditch, you get stuck, you can go somewhere
Okay.
and get service. That's all I was.
Yeah, it's a good point, and for emergency services especially. And perhaps
with 911.
Yeah, now in conjunction with 911. Maybe we could look to bring forth a resolution on that 2 weeks from today, just to get the wording, draft wording correct. And certainly a concern for more communities than just ourselves.
Looks pretty much like everybody.
Yeah.
Yellowknife included.
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
That would pretty much be all I have to say. And so, SAO White?
A couple of the items we sort of alluded to, the resolutions for the AGM. We'll do some drafting and send them out to council for consideration, and the bridge one will pretty much mirror what council has adopted, and then we'll work on one.
At the same time as the bridge one, we should be working on the road to Norman Wells.
Okay.
Because that is I wasn't at the meeting, we were discussing the bridge one, but that one is the most important to Fort Simpson.
Mhm.
Because you get the winter traffic goes through here, and it's quite a few people. Okay, you could have that in the summertime for 3 months also. That would be very important to us.
Mhm.
The bridge one, I don't think it's gonna happen until after you get this winter road put in, and I'm a believer that winter road is as important as anything. Turn that into an all-weather road, or seasonal, it's still gonna be summer, winter, you're not gonna get spring and fall, but.
And they do, I'm not sure, I have to look again, but I'm pretty sure there is a standing resolution with the NVTAC concerning the Mackenzie Highway, but we could review the wording of it. They sustain it, they just keep renewing the resolution. Eventually, if it becomes something that's been dealt with, it drops off, but we should look carefully at the resolutions that are up for readoption, or, if there's any
Yeah, 'cause
wording
we're
that we
just
want to change.
I didn't know there was one out there. If there is, like,
Yeah,
okay, well, if we're just doing it again.
Yeah.
All in favor, yeah.
okay.
That's it.
And on the matter of the AGM, a couple of our councillors have expressed an interest in attending, along with yourself. So we will, with council's okay, we'll incorporate some of those numbers into the budget next year and see if we can get as many going as we can for one of them. So, just an information for council at this point.
I have a comment.
Yes.
I'm glad that Kirby brought up the cell phone services, but last year Kirby had mentioned something about the food subsidy for Fort Simpson. Would this be the forum to maybe bring that forward?
Which subsidy?
The northern,
Food subsidy?
Nutrition North?
Mhm. Well, that could be looked at because the conditions that they have, it says you have to average a 6-week break up and freeze up. We're probably one of the communities that gets quite close to that, but doesn't quite get into the program.
Then maybe you should tell them to reconsider that 6 weeks.
Some of those conditions, yeah, we probably should be one of those communities that gets a partial subsidy at least.
Apply.
That's right. So maybe we could pass a resolution indicating that certain communities that are not connected with a full-time road and have fairly lengthy periods of disruption should still be considered at some funding level to subsidize food costs. And that's certainly something that a resolution could be put forward at the NWTAC, I think, yes?
Yes.
Because there definitely would be other communities than ourselves who would support such a resolution.
Yep.
Okay, that's a good thought. All right. Yep, maybe we'll bring something forth on that as well. I know we've raised it with the MLA and with the MP. So good to push it in all directions. SAO White, did you have any more?
Yeah, a few items, Your Worship. Recreation Committee would like to get a committee meeting set up for Thursday at lunch. Our coordinator has some new ideas and things he wants to bounce off the committee before we bring to council. That would be Councillor Hassan, Councillor Lafferty, Councillor Rowe, and Councillor McPherson. So 12 o'clock Thursday?
I won't be here, so
Okay.
anyone can represent me.
How about Liza? Would she be here?
We'll check to, are you away for
I'm gonna be
a
away
bit of,
for
a
at
bit of
least,
time
at
after?
least 3 weeks, yeah.
Okay. We'll try and do something, and if we can get it in your absence, we'll move forward with
I
it.
can call in if it's
Okay,
convenient, like
yeah,
if it's a
that's-
daytime, probably I will be able to call in, but
Okay.
I don't know. I'll let you know.
We'll
when
be in
I-
touch.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we'll try for this Thursday. If we can't seem to get bodies, then we'll move it forward to next week.
Okay.
We've had some removal of some hazardous waste from the landfill this past weekend. We've had 4 large trucks come in and haul away from Fort Simpson. So
What did they take?
liquids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The
Oh, yes, all
the
those- All the
palletized
the
liquids.
plastic.
Yeah.
Bins. Yeah, that'd be
So
the
there's
best.
about 2 more truckloads to get out, but we're going to wait until the ice road's in to have that come in for that last haul. We were sort of keeping our fingers crossed on the weekend, just getting the trucks over, so we did good. What else? Tomorrow is our unveiling for the welcome sign, so you're all welcome to attend, 3 o'clock, and we think you will like the sign, so. And, just to say a few kudos to the folks that were very instrumental in the sign coming to fruition. Our assistant SAO, Kevin, was very, very instrumental in the beginning, the design, the concept, and so I think recognition of that should be given. We've had a lot of help in-house with Public Works staff, Mitch Gast, probably forgetting some people, but Public Works did really on top of that. So
Bylaw?
yes, Steve Lenore, again, doing a lot of work there. Am I missing anyone, Kevin?
Well, as part of the Trails crew, I guess, him and one of the other guys is
Yeah.
part of
Yeah.
kind of finishing up the trail project.
So it was a big undertaking, and it looks very nice.
It's really looking good.
Yes. Their council has been invited to a meeting with Enbridge on November 27th. That's a Wednesday evening. I don't know if they've nailed down the time yet, but I'm thinking maybe a 5-6 o'clock meeting. And they do want to sort of have a little get together after the meeting at the site or up at Enbridge. So just
Bridges camp up here?
yeah, at their site up there by Rose, and they just want to recognize and thank the village for the partnerships over the last year, and I just want to thank you all. So, okay,
November what?
27th, it's a
27th?
Wednesday.
27th,
We are engaging a landscape designer, a lady named Lindy Pruitt, who's going to basically do a lot of creative, give us a lot of creative ideas for our trail, for our beautification within the community, and give us the ideas we need going forward to sort of put the best footprint on the community that we can. So she'll be working through the winter. She'll be funded through the ISIP program. So
Did you say Wendy Pruitt?
Lindy Pruitt. So you may see her around the village office or in and out from time to time. Open house. Last year, the village put on an open house prior to Christmas. I think we did around December 7th, 8th last year. Just looking for consensus around the table if council is good for us to plan for that again this year. We'll start that. So I don't know if you want to do a resolution on that, your worship, or
I think it's been standard procedure. I think if it's just snacks,
But
cheese
don't
and
we have to do a
crackers.
resolution to make it official?
Well, if it's in the budgeting already under some kind of,
there's funds within the council budget that would support. It's usually about a $1,000 to $1,500 cost. So
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
let's just show of hands. Is everybody willing to spend $1,000, $1,500 for an open house sometime in December? Okay. Deputy Mayor, you two? All the hands showed yes.
Yes.
Okay. Any
Yeah,
concerns or thoughts?
And we attended, right? I
We
missed
should
it
try.
last year because I was out of town, but
Yeah, we should definitely try to attend ourselves, at least for,
Yeah.
a part of it.
That's
That
kind
way
of-
we're dropping in and out and we're a little bit part of the thank you to the community really is what it is.
Come early or you won't get the good food.
Okay,
That's all, your worship.
okay, thank you. We got no tabled items or old business. No committee minutes or recommendations. We do have some new business. And I've got a motion moved by Councillor Hassan, seconded by Councillor Bellefontaine, that the request of Don Bell Isaiah to have a community hall rental fee waived be either approved or not approved. I'll read it as approved, and then we'll take a vote. But any discussion, there was a letter attached in your package describing, it's basically a woman's clothing swap, and apparently going to be fairly well attended. They have interest indicated like 40 or 50 people, so it seems to be like it'll be a bigger community event, requires the size place she's looking for.
What is, which hall? The little one?
Must be the smaller one, the
I
community
would
hall.
imagine it's the
Yeah.
small,
Yeah, I don't think
small
we
portion.
would need the big area.
How much do we charge the clubs, the other clubs, the fall fair?
Uh,
Do we charge
I
them?
think they're free. As a not-for-profit without any, there's no profit motive behind it. The only two things we seem to worry about are whether it's open to the public, free of charge, and no alcohol. Things seem to be, as long as you fit those three things, then certainly you qualify for a free rent for whatever event it is you're holding. That's what I believe has been the past practice.
Which is what this appears to be.
Yeah, seems to qualify on all those. Any other thoughts on this one? All right, well then let's have a show of hands. Who would be in favor of waiving the fee? Okay, I've got 5 hands, and Deputy Mayor? Okay, so that's approved with 6 votes for and none against. Motion's carried. We'll be getting a hold of Miss Bell Isaiah. Secondly, we have a motion moved by Councillor Hassan, seconded by Councillor Belfontaine, that the request from Aurora College for $3,000 in program funding, as outlined in their letter of request, be approved or not approved. Any discussion on this financial request? Yes, Councillor Hassan.
Thank you. I visited the Aurora College during this gathering for the kids, and I noticed honestly whatever is written in this letter is really true. So on Thursdays, usually the kids, like the number which he showed, and I've seen a lot there, and they are really gathering and having fun for like some hours. The strange thing, we don't see these things, and we don't see the volunteer work. So many people. I didn't mean only this one. There might be other groups, other activities in our community which we don't see. But for this specific gathering, I'm fully in support. I'm fully in support of this request. Thank you.
Okay. Any other councillor thoughts on this? Councillor Belfontaine.
I've been over there myself, and I've seen it, like you said, it is very well attended, and I think it's a small price to pay to have activities for the youth to do. It's keeping them busy with positive things. They're making connections with people that are in there, making friends and establishing relationships. I think it's great. It's a very small price to pay.
Mm-hmm. Councillor Lafferty?
I'd like to see them reach out to the different organizations. Like there's the Gail Villeneuve has these bingo games every Wednesday, and she donates it's all for kids and youth, and she'll donate money. And then the Métis fundraises too, bingo, and they could reach out to us. And there's LKFN. I think LKFN probably does, because I see their name
They
down
provide them with 2 staff, 2 help staff, LKFN. This is in collaboration with LKFN and Aurora College. So I think LKFN did their part, honestly, and we as a village, we should do our part.
Because, even if it was 1,000 to each one, because it is quite a bit, and if we start donating, well, there's going to be other people wanting donations too, and we just can't be donating all the time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you're more in favor of a partial
Yeah,
donation.
Yeah.
Yes, Councillor Grow?
That, I agree, this is probably very good, but I'm the same thing because I'm going through this general forecast or O&M. Okay, and right here, we talk about donations. Donations, we allow $10,000. We're at $7,000 or $6,000 now. And with the hall rental, we're 2, 3, 4, I don't know what that costs. We're donating there, and then another 3,000 here. It kills all of the donations if $10,000 is our.
Yeah, but that number have nothing to do with waiving the rental fee for the
Sure it does.
hall.
No, that's a donation.
Yeah, but it's not part of the 10,000.
Sure it is.
Yeah, I think the in-kind ones, we don't cost them out that way. I think it's true, it has a value, but I don't think it's.
It is a valued donation.
Yeah, but it's worth.
If we're
something.
giving away rentals, then it's a donation.
Yeah, it's lost revenue in a sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's a fee we charge, but if we waive the fee,
It's
We're
more of a lost
donating-
revenue, though.
we're donating to that organization.
Yeah, but it's not part of the $10,000. Like if we have 100 non-profit organization that come and we waive their fees, 100, that's $40,000. It's not part of the budget, which you've seen is $10,000. This
Yeah.
$10,000 is money in the budget. And that
Oh,
one
that's
is in kind
That's
donation.
what we're paying out every year, it's up to 10,000.
Yeah, but let us be
So-
honest. If we pay the NAC $5,000 when they come here and they perform and they make money out of our community, it's better to pay this. It's non-profit as an activity for the youth and for the kids in our community. They don't get any money back from this event.
Yeah,
It's nothing.
that
Just
is
give them
not
the
my
3,000.
point. That is not my point. My point is just scorekeeping. Okay, we give that away, but we don't record it. That's my only point. I think that $10,000 donation should be 20. Okay, so I'm not telling us that we don't do it. I'm just saying a recording method, if we don't record when we give free rent, that's a $500 donation we just made. And so like, that should be as a recorded. That's all my point is on that. And I would be willing to go half. Are you in?
Yes, Councillor Belmonte.
I agree. I think our 10,000 is low when we look at donations, but I think the youth in the community really need to feel that they're important. And I think a lot of times maybe they don't. Like I've seen the kids at this group and they really seem like they feel like they're part of that community. They're part of this group. And I think there's a lot of programming for kids 12 and under, but then they kind of get, as they're getting to be 10, 11, 12, they're kind of too old to hang out with those kids, but they're too young to hang out with the other ones. I think that's where a lot of kids are getting lost and they're not really feeling that there's something for them here. So I think, to me, this is great. Another thing is when we have people that are doing things for youth or anybody that's doing volunteering and they're trying to raise money, sometimes it's they don't have a lot of time. And then if they go ask for one donation and they say, well, we'll give you part, but you got to go ask, and then they got to go to another one and another one. And it takes so much time and you feel like you're always asking for donations. And if they're involved, I know some people that are involved in a lot of groups and they're always fundraising. So I think this is a reasonable amount for what it is and the number of people that it will help. So I just think that's important, is to make it easy for people too that are offering these programs to help it out so they can move forward and not have to have so many roadblocks.
Okay, so I'm just looking for a little direction here on, if you want me to just read out this motion as is with the request for 3,000, or is anyone?
Read out the motion.
It says that the request from Aurora College for 3,000 in program funding as outlined in their letter of request be approved. So the number 3,000 is there. And,
All in favor?
yeah, we could certainly have a show of hands if we want to look at that. Okay, well, let's see a show of hands. Who's in favor of this motion at $3,000? 1, 2, 3. Deputy Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, well, that would be 4 in favor. Who's against? Okay, two against, mostly on the fact that you didn't want to put the entire amount, but you wanted to cost share. Okay, so 4-2, but the motion is passed, and so we'll be contacting the club and getting a hold of them.
Well, maybe they should just be made aware that there are other places that they can get funding.
Yeah, I think that's a good
These
point, that they
activities.
shouldn't count on us every single year, that this is something we'll do this time, but
Yeah.
with more time to plan, perhaps there are other agencies as well.
I agree with Marie. This type of program definitely fits the criteria for Gail Villeneuve and Val Genron's bingos. That's
Maybe we can mention
definitely
that
for the
to
youth.
to
So
him as well.
they should maybe be approached if you would encourage them to approach them. That falls in that criteria
Okay,
for additional funding.
okay,
Thank you.
all right. And now, bylaws. 2 bylaws to approve. A motion moved by Councillor Bellefontaine, seconded by Councillor Hassan, that bylaw 2019-009, excuse me, a bylaw to set the schedule for regular scheduled meetings for the 2020 calendar year be read a third time and passed. Any discussion? All in favor? 5 hands showing. Deputy Mayor, are you in favor?
Yes.
Okay, 6 in favor, none against. The calendar is approved and adopted. Second set of, or second bylaw, a motion moved by Councillor Hassan, seconded by Councillor Bellefontaine, that bylaw 2019-010, a bylaw to rezone part of the main road to M1 light industrial, be read a third time and passed. Any discussion on this?
I'm still not sure on this one, what it is.
Yeah, what is that again?
That is the request to hive off an area of the roadway back there.
Whereabouts? Cooper barging?
Cooper barging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the
Okay,
one. Yeah,
that's the one.
yeah, so that's just making an adjustment for an easement where the village might have
Right.
eventually planned to put a road, but doesn't seem to ever want to do that, so, okay. All in favor then of passing this bylaw? 5 in favor, Deputy Mayor, what's your vote, in favor or not?
In favor.
Okay, 6-4, none against. And that is carried as well. Council matters and concerns. Perhaps we can start with Councillor Hassan. Do you have any this evening?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Don't remember.
Councillor Gross.
Couple small things. The solid waste facility, can we get an update? Maybe who's in charge of that? Is it Mitch's game, or who's doing that?
It's a responsibility that both is within Public Works, and there's also other areas, mostly with respect to dealing with the biosolids and some of the work that was done with the hazardous waste where Mitch has taken a lead on. So
Okay, I'd like, can we get a report or get somebody to come to council with a presentation or how it's planned for the future?
okay.
Sometime here, or maybe get something put together. I'm just curious how it's going now that we've changed to the new year and everything is progressing as we're progressing. And the other one is community meeting.
Right.
We should look at one. Maybe we can do one before Christmas. If we're gonna do it before Christmas, it's getting pretty close. And it doesn't take long. We don't need 3 months' notice to hold a community meeting. You either show up or you don't show up. It's just like, so I would suggest maybe the end of November here sometime. We
Yeah.
just
before
throw
the
up
ice
a board and
bridge.
we're having a community meeting. We all sit up there and they can throw eggs at us.
Yeah, wait till everybody's really antsy after the bridge hasn't been in for about 4 weeks and see.
Well, it's a good time now because people are kind of trapped.
Yeah,
You know, you got 2 or 3 weeks right now, and I would really like to see us just pick a date and say, We're having a community meeting.
Yeah. So, yeah, if we could maybe just book, I know we had originally thought October,
Nobody was
but
here.
we blew by that, so maybe towards the third week in
Somewhere in
November.
there would be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be, so maybe we'll propose a couple of dates just between the councilors. We don't necessarily have to have a full, meeting to
Yeah.
discuss that. We can put something together. It's just gather up the community with listening to what they have to say and
Okay.
make a bit of a presentation on an update on what we're doing too.
and that's the end of my
Okay,
wish list.
sure. Thank you. Councilor Bellefontaine.
First, I think that's a great idea. I know we talked about it before, so it's really good if we're going to follow up with that because there's so many people that have so much to say online, but it'd be nice for people to come out and be productive and say it here. This is how we make changes. So if people want to come out, that's the way to get your ideas heard.
Yeah.
One thing that I've seen online is a lot of people asking if anybody has straw for their dogs now that it's getting colder. And I was wondering if that's something we can provide for the community. I don't know if we can use money out of the money we set aside for the vet, since it's dog related. I don't know if there's maybe from income from dog fines or something, but I was thinking if we could bring in a load of straw that people could have. Of course, they would have to have their dogs registered with the village since they're supposed to anyway. It would be a good way to say, hey, come on in, register your dog if you need. And that way we're helping people. We're providing the things they need to be responsible pet owners.
Is that something that we'd sell at cost?
I wonder if selling it would be more complicated. I don't know
Just
how
give
we would
away
go about that, but
to
depending
those
on
that
how
need?
much, I don't know how much straw costs, but I would think the straw is probably cheap. It's probably getting it here that costs a little more.
Right.
But
Tell you.
yeah,
It costs $10 for a little square bale, which we usually do every year ourselves.
Yeah, we'd have to.
it's maybe something that could have been planned earlier, but I'm seeing everybody asking now, so I just thought I'd look into it.
The day after the river closes is a real bad time to suggest that plan.
So because so many people have been asking, and I just thought I'll bring it in, but it might be something we can't do this year. Maybe we can look at it for next year, but
Yeah.
just on the off chance that somebody knows or has connections or something, if there is a way that we could do it. And I think that's us making available the things, because we get bylaws that say you're not allowed to do this, this, and this. But this way we're providing the tools they need. You can't go around and say, look, you're being cruel, you got your dog tied outside, and
Yeah.
you didn't give them straw. This way we're at least providing an
A
option.
little incentive for people to treat their pets a little kinder
And
when
some
it's
people just don't have
cold.
access to go out of town to get it.
Yeah.
So it's just a way to make it available.
probably not a big cost item. I mean, it's a few
Freight
$100
will kill
to, yeah.
It's
for
bulky,
cubing, eh? Maybe we can somehow get somebody to haul the load back on a half-empty truck or something. If there's a
A
way to
dozen
do
bales
that.
or something like that,
Yeah.
maybe somebody could bring back for you, but
Yeah,
if they're $10 a bale down south, that's $120. That's cheap.
yeah,
But freight to get it up here is like, that's,
that's the one, yeah.
you know,
Okay, well, maybe you could keep us posted on,
I've asked a few people just to see if where they get it and what the options might be. So I'll look into it a little more and
okay.
present back.
Any other concerns?
Not really, not at this time.
Okay, Councillor Morrow?
Just a development committee meeting schedule
Developments,
for zoning.
okay. A planning meeting,
I'll set something up.
okay,
yeah,
okay. We'll get that done. Any other concerns? Okay. Councillor Lafferty?
No, not this time.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Antoine, any council concerns?
Yeah, I just wanted to check to see if the plan is still being developed yet for water to be piped up to the residents of Can we get something back on that maybe at the next meeting or something?
Well, I can advise that we did have the engineers do a very high level cost estimate on those services up on the hill. And we would be looking at anywhere between $8 and $12 million.
Okay, and what's the low level?
8.
Between 8 and 12, and the lowest would be 8 million?
Yeah, that's the range they're giving, anywhere between $8 and $12 million.
Okay, good. So at least we got some numbers, right?
Yes.
Is it possible to get that in some kind of written form from the engineer? Just
Yeah,
to-
it costs
how
money.
they came to those
They
numbers?
need to do a study.
Yeah, that's very preliminary.
That's preliminary. That's an email.
Yeah.
Going beyond that will cost us money to have numbers generated. So they just looked at it very high level. They looked at
Yeah, I
costs.
don't want to scare anybody away with those big numbers, but as long as we have something ready, because it may be brought up at the public meeting.
Sure.
I want to
It
show
seems
that
like
what
there's
we
some,
look at,
at
sure.
least, consideration of it.
Yeah.
The future of Fort Simpson basically does indicate that eventually you do want to run water off the island. It's probably, if we experience significant growth at any time, I don't know how, building a hospital is a big problem, they tell us, because they can't build it off the island because of water and sewer. That was one of the main things they said, that they could not foresee building off island because there was no water and sewer. And yet there was no land available down here.
Well, that was debate.
Yeah. And that's
That's
sort
a
of-
long discussion, that
Yeah,
one.
I mean, so there's all these things and, many more discussions in the future, I suppose, but yeah.
Yeah, but I do still want to keep that alive. I want to. The second thing is there was a campaign that was we had along with the RCMP, where I think we had provided reflective material to people that walk the roads because it's very dark now. I just wanted to know if we're going to do that again. I think we should. I was driving into town there, and we seen 2 people catching a ride. We didn't see them till the last minute, till the lights hit them. So I know the RCMP had bought some reflective material to put on their boots or on their jacket and tape on. So I don't know who and how we would go about trying to redo that campaign. So maybe you guys could look into that.
Okay, SAO White has
Yeah, we
something.
will, we'll be following up with the RCMP and what they actually do have. If that becomes difficult, then we'll basically go and get some reflective bands. We'll just get them.
I'm sure you can get them, and I
Yeah.
think that's a very good idea, because it is scary driving up and down that hill. If everybody could have a reflective band, it would help a lot.
Yeah,
Sure.
and, I think that in the past, we've basically contributed maybe $1,000 towards that program. And we've given them out here at the village office and given some to the RCMP when they spot people that need them, so.
And yes, the RCMP did go out to people that, that were using that road. They knew who was using it, and they provided them. And I've known one year there was quite a few people, they had their reflective tape on their boots, and that helped.
Well, it's very good.
Yeah, it's a hazard walk on that road in the wintertime. It's dark and between the street lights, so.
Okay, any other concerns, Deputy Mayor?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Bellefontaine had one more thought.
Oh, I was just gonna say with what Celine's talking about, Liza brought up a good point that if you give out their armbands, that people aren't necessarily using them, they lose them and stuff. So she was saying that maybe there would be people that might be willing to sew them onto their clothes, or if we got hats instead, something that, a hat will keep them warm and it can have the reflective thing on it. And people are more likely to keep that than just a band that Velcro's on. It could fall off and then they don't necessarily use them again.
Yeah,
So,
But it starts going up in cost once you
Yeah,
go
there's,
beyond an hour.
yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do, I guess.
Yeah, I would just like the village to continue that on because we've had some very bad fatalities up there.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Mayor. All right, that brings to a conclusion the public part of our meeting for now. And I think we do have one in-camera matter. There's no public here tonight, so we don't have to clear the room. And I guess we should do a roll call.
Resolution.
Would you have to mute the,
Yeah, I've got a motion that council go in camera at 7:55
yes,
PM. Motion moved by, I need a couple of names here, Councillor Grote and Councillor Morrow. So that's moved by Councillor Grote, seconded by Councillor Morrow, that council go in camera at 7:55 PM. And I'll do a roll call. Deputy Mayor Antoine,
yes,
okay. Councillor Bellefontaine,
yes.
Councillor Hassan,
Yes.
Councillor Grote,
Yes.
Councillor Lafferty,
Yes.
and Councillor Morrow.
Yes.
Okay, so that's 6 in favor of going in camera. So we are now in camera. And we'll make sure the camera is off.